You know, we don't get a lot of memes in biology, but we lean really hard into the ones we have. For instance, it doesn't matter where I am in the world, all I have to do is say the word mitochondria, and pretty much everyone will drop what they're doing and shout in unison, "Are the powerhouse of the cell." That's just what we were taught over and over again in introductory biology. We know that mitochondria are the site of cellular respiration, and that all the energy that we need is converted there. Which is insane to me, because mitochondria do so much more than turn food into energy. Mitochondria do everything from making the building blocks of your DNA, to alleviating cell stress, to literally cleaning up all of the messes inside of you. There is so much going on in these little prokaryotic nuggets that I had to make a quick video to correct the record. Today, let's take a deep dive into how mitochondria are way more than a powerhouse. So yeah, just in case some of you need a quick refresher, mitochondria are one of the many structures called organelles that make your cells up. They're in basically every cell you've got except red blood cells. And you know what, when in doubt, just always say except red blood cells when making a blanket statement about cell biology, and you'll probably be right. I mean, they're basically just bags of hemoglobin. The real magic here is in the wrinkly membrane on the inside. This intermitochondrial membrane, we'll call that the IMM from now on by the way, is where most of the cool stuff happens. And it's what gives mitochondria their superpowers. The folds and wrinkles give the IMM a huge surface area. More surface area means there's more room for cool chemistry to happen. And if you're thinking back to my episodes on photosynthesis and making connections to chloroplasts, then congrats, they are similar. When in doubt, all the coolest things in life happen when you have membranes within membranes. Mitochondria use proteins and complexes embedded in the IMM to accomplish a lot of what they do. There are thousands of people who have devoted their entire lives to exploring this little barrier, and there's still so much more we need to learn about it. But that's good enough for intros for me. What are our mitochondria doing with all this real estate? Well, let's start with the part that blew my mind the hardest. Mitochondria are the center for manufacturing so many of your most important building blocks. When I think of mitochondria, I think of breaking stuff. I think about sugar getting cracked open to make ATP in cellular respiration, called catabolism. However, mitochondria are also essential for assembling so many of your most important parts. One of the biggest things you'll learn about biology is that our cells read our DNA to know how to assemble proteins that have amino acid building blocks. But what builds those building blocks? You guessed it, it's your mitochondria. The nucleotides that make up your DNA, the essential structures for them are made up inside the IMM. A compound called tetrahydrofolate gets pulled into the IMM by this carrier protein here, and it's used to make a bunch of different factors that turn into nucleotides once they're released back into the cytoplasm. And you know what's insane? I have been making videos on this YouTube channel for 5 months now. I have called this channel a show about biochemistry, but this right here, this little scene is the closest I have come to actually animating a biochemical pathway. Names, y'all. What are you gonna do about it? At the same time, the proteins that make you, alive, are built out of amino acids. A bunch of those amino acids are manufactured right here in the IMM. An important compound called glutamate is brought into the IMM by a membrane protein, and then it is transformed into proline, alanine, glutamine, not the same, and a bunch of precursors of other amino acids. My personal favorite is right here, at the very end of heme synthesis, that is synthesizing the heme group that makes up hemoglobin, which transports oxygen all throughout your body. At the very end of that process, the heme group gets its iron atom attached to it and then sent out to become part of hemoglobin and then part of your red blood cells. What's cool here too is that the very beginning of heme synthesis actually also happens inside your mitochondria, but I did not have the time budget for that, and frankly, heme synthesis is a crazy, awesome topic that needs a whole video dedicated to it, so you just get the last step here. But no, 2 parts of heme synthesis actually happen inside the mitochondria. You're just seeing the last one right here. And that's only an extremely small slice of the stuff your mitochondria build. What's even more bonkers is what your mitochondria do to clean up your cells. No, seriously, mitochondria are the center for waste disposal in your cells and therefore in your entire body. A lot of the chemical reactions in your body produce less than ideal byproducts. This is why we do waste disposal. At a macro level, you already know the 2 methods we have for getting rid of waste products in your body. But your mitochondria help start the process by breaking down and disposing of waste at this chemical level. Not all the waste in your body, but definitely some of the more important ones. Like, first of all, ammonia. Ammonia is made by breaking down amino acids and nitrogenous bases, so it's produced during normal metabolism, especially protein metabolism. It should be noted that most of the ammonia in your body is produced by the bacteria in your gut, your microbiome, but we'll get into that later, probably not even in this video. Ammonia is a pretty wicked toxin, so it needs to be converted into something more stable before leaving your body. The first step of that conversion happens with enzymes inside the IMM, turning it into a compound called citrulline, which is eventually turned into something called urea. And you'll never guess how that exits your body. Next up is hydrogen sulfide, another cool toxin produced by your microbiome. There are a bunch of proteins embedded on the IMM that help break it down. You're only seeing half of the process here, though, because eventually hydrogen sulfide is broken completely down into something way more manageable. Again, we only have the time budget for a quick review here. Even cooler, hydrogen sulfide is H2S. When it's broken down, it's going to release 2 hydrogen nuclei, that is 2 protons, and those are used to help juice the concentration gradient on the outside of the IMM that helps power ATP synthase at the end stage of cellular respiration. So waste disposal is pretty good. That's not even grazing all of the waste disposal that happens. But of course, of all of the things that happen, for me, the coolest is the last one: mitochondria are the powerhouse of your cell. Yeah, lame, I know, but you probably only know mitochondria as the site of glucose metabolism, the vanilla version of cellular respiration. This kind of respiration uses glucose, oxygen, and water to make energy. Here's the thing, though. Glucose is a sugar. You don't just eat sugars. Your body is also really great at making energy out of fats and proteins, too. So, how do those things all get turned into energy? They get converted, you guessed it, inside the IMM in that intermitochondrial space. The fats you eat get broken down into fatty acids, for the most part, outside your mitochondria, but once they make it inside, these energy-rich chains are processed and robbed of their electrons until they turn into acetyl coenzyme A. Acetyl-CoA is kind of a big deal in biochem, so I'm not going to go into more detail right now. It needs its own video. I know it doesn't look like much, but this little nub can accomplish quite a lot. Just know that once these fats get turned into acetyl-CoA, they can help power the Krebs cycle, or the TCA cycle, or the citric acid cycle, or whatever it is you call it. Meanwhile, when you eat protein, it gets broken down into its constituent amino acids. The amino acids glutamine, leucine, isoleucine, and valine all get processed inside the IMM. Glutamine is the most common amino acid, and it gets broken down immediately into glutamate and ammonia, which, hey, your mitochondria are already ready to clean up. Glutamate can be repurposed as all sorts of molecules, and it's actually a neurotransmitter as well. But odds are, once it's inside the mitochondria, it's going to get converted into another intermediate in the citric acid/Krebs cycle called alpha-ketoglutarate. Meanwhile, leucine and isoleucine are usually processed and turned into, you guessed it, acetyl coenzyme A. All of these processes take electrons and use them to power the electron transport chain and ATP synthase, which is what makes ATP the energy molecule that helps keep you alive on a cellular level. And again, we've only scratched the surface here. And if you're paying attention, you're beginning to see why all these things need to happen inside the mitochondria. One of the most important things in life is that it is an energy management problem in the end. We need energy to be alive, and harvesting that energy from our environment can be a messy process. That's why it's so incredible how we've evolved alongside these brilliant structures inside every single one of ourselves. We barely scratched the surface here, too. We didn't talk about how mitochondria clean your cells from free radicals and other unstable toxins, or how mitochondrial DNA is a special, brilliant source of insight passed down from mothers to their children. There's so much wrapped up in these little organelles that it's almost an insult to reduce them to a place that makes energy. And I hope this wasn't too broad or too quick an introduction, and that you can see how mitochondria are way more than a powerhouse. I really appreciate your time. Thank you so much. As always, thank you so much for watching to the very end here. I'm still trying a bunch of different styles of video. This is definitely the clickbaitiest and or just the most high-level video I've ever done. It's also the fastest turnaround I've managed to pull off as I get closer and closer to a bi-weekly release schedule. Let me know if you like this sort of fast and loose style here, if you prefer the more in-depth videos we have. I usually have a huge litany of sources, but I need to shout out the primary source here. This video was inspired entirely by a review paper done by researchers at the Huygens Lab over at the Harvard Medical School's Cell Biology Department. These brilliant people took time away from researching cancer to make this awesome review about all the different things that mitochondria do. I have a link to a Twitter thread where I cite all of my sources, including that one, in the description below. Check that out. At the same time, if you like these kinds of videos, I really would appreciate it if you checked out my Patreon or my PayPal, just so I can keep making these without, starving to death. Totally get it. We're still new in the process. At the same time, I want you to check out the Twitter thread where I cite all of those sources, which is at @this_clockwork over on Twitter. Either way, I really appreciate your time. Thank you so much for sticking out all the way to the end here. And as always, we like to leave you with peace, love, and coenzymes. Everyone be well. Thank you so much.